Hello everyone and welcome to Cap at Home. Right now we are about to make paper medals with Miss Rachel. Hi! So, I'm going to take you through the supplies that you'll need and then we're going to get started. So, this is what we're making. It's just a medal a medal, kind of like you won an award, that kind of medal. And it has a safety pin on the back so that you can wear it. And it's just taped on the back. So for this project, you will need some paper. I'm going to use yellow for this example. You will also need a ruler, pencil, if your pencil doesn't have an eraser, separate erasers. You may need a pencil sharpener to sharpen your pencil if it breaks. You'll need scissors, and off camera I have a hot glue gun heating up, but if you only have Elmer's glue, like school glue or a glue stick, that will work fine. You'll also need crayons or markers or colored pencils or something to decorate your medal and to give it like your own little pizzazz there so that you can write what you want it to say on there or draw whatever you want. But we are going to get started with pencil, ruler, and paper. The first step is to create your strips that are going to be the folded part behind the medal. I don't know exactly what that's called, but we're going to call it the foldy part. So in the directions, I think it asks you to cut 3 by 7 inch strips. Those dimensions will get you a really nice medal, but you don't have to use those dimensions. You can use, if it's a rectangle, it will probably work. So if you don't have paper that's that you can cut down to 3 by 7, that's totally fine. So right here, I'm just going to make some strips, and I'm going to show you that you don't need to measure. I'm just drawing some lines. However, if the 2 strips that you do have, you want to make sure they're at least the same width so that you can get an even circle all the way around. So I didn't measure this right here, but let's see, that is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to do another 2.5 inches wide. Okay, and then draw my line. I think it's straight. And then we're going to prep all of our paper stuff right now. So later on in the instructions, it asks you to have 2 1-inch wide, 4-inch long strips for the hanging parts, these parts. So I made that strip right here. So I have my 2 strips that will be the folded part, and then I have my hanging strip right there, and I'm going to cut them all out right now. And I would definitely suggest doing all of what I'm calling the prep work first, like all of the cutting first. That way when you get to the decorating part, you don't have to stop and go back and cut more strips or anything like that. You can color it all at one time, cut it all at one time. It might make the whole process just a little bit more enjoyable. So these 2 strips will be my foldy part. This will be my hanging part. And then next, I'm going to show you how to make a circle, just in case you don't have anything that's the size you need for your round part right here. I'm going to show you how to measure a circle just using a pencil and a ruler. So right now, I'm just going to draw a dot somewhere kind of close to the edge. I don't want to cut out of the middle just in case I need those extra scraps for something I want to add. So I made my dot close to the edge here, and I might need to get a marker so that it's easier for you to see. Okay, hopefully that shows up pretty well. So I'm using marker, but I would definitely suggest pencil so that it doesn't bleed through and you can draw on the other side. But I'm going to use this marker so that you can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to use my ruler, and I want a 2-inch circle. So I want my circle to be 2 inches, so it will be, since this dot is in the middle, I'm going to measure 1 inch on this side and then another inch on the other side so that I get my 2 inch diameter circle. So 1 inch there, and I'm going to make a dot on the other side that's an inch from my center mark. And I'm going to do that a couple of more times so that I can basically connect the dots to create a circle. I'm going to line up my mark right here so I know this dot is 1 inch from the center. So it's this one. I'm going to keep doing it, spinning my ruler around, getting stuff out of the way. So you can make as few dots or as many as you need. I think this will work well for me now because now I can kind of connect them while I'm cutting. I'm going to go up to 1 dot and then just cut from 1 dot to the next to create my circle. And I think you get a pretty good circle out of this. It may take a little bit of practice and you probably won't get a perfect circle, but I think it's pretty good. So, and if you wanted to, you could go ahead and color your design before even cutting this out. But if you don't, if you're like me and you just wanted to go ahead and cut it out, you can cut it out and then color your design on the other side. So I'll go ahead and make a quick little design so that I can show you what I'm talking about. It may also help to have some paper under what you're drawing on, because I often draw off the edges of my paper, so having some paper to guard your surface so that it doesn't get all messy with your markers or crayons is a good idea. I'm just coloring a design here. Oop. Because it's going to be a lot easier to draw on this when it's flat and I can do it on the table rather than after I've glued it onto my metal. So, I don't know what I want my metal to say. Sometimes I think we need to kind of just celebrate the small things. So I got up this morning, so I'm gonna write that on my metal. Yay, I got up this morning. Oh, I can write, oh, I brushed my teeth, I washed up, I showered, so I'll do that. I brushed my teeth. I don't know if that's gonna fit. I'm gonna switch to pencil if it doesn't. So we're just celebrating the small stuff. We're just happy to be healthy and alive, well enough to participate in Cap at Home. So today I brushed my teeth. So if you were here with me, you would not be offended by my breath because I brushed my teeth today. Okay, so we have what our metal is going to say. I'm going to push that over to the side and I'm going to show you how to do the foldy part. So I'm going back and I'm taking those 2 big strips that we cut out. And I'm going to fold these back and forward accordion style, but I did want to let you know a couple of things. When you fold them, depending on how wide you fold them, that's going to determine how deep this side is. So if you fold really big, you're going to get a really chunky metal. If you fold it really thin, like this, you're going to get a much thinner metal. So if you fold it small like this, it will take a little more time, but I think it will be worth it because it will look really full. So I'm going to do kind of something in between those, and I'm just folding my paper back and forward, or what they like to call accordion style. Move that out of the way. And if you want to be really, really exact, you could even make marks on your paper at like the 1/2 inch or 1 inch if you want all of your folds to be exact. But I am not worried about being perfect. I'm just trying to do some art right now. Okay? So you're going to do this to both strips of paper. Just fold it back and forward. And forth. And if you have a little extra that's not the same width as your folds, that's fine. You can fold it back or you can cut it off. It's up to you. It doesn't make a huge difference. So I have one folded here. Set that to the side and do the next one. And remember, I'm not worried about being perfect. I want to get them kind of close to each other, but I'm not super worried about it if they're not perfect. Another thing you could do is cut another strip of paper in a different color and fold it along with this strip so that you had kind of like, or have two colors going on in your foldy part, which could be cool. And you can also color this strip before you fold it. So if you wanted more colors or like polka dots or stripes or something, you could color this strip before you fold it and have a nice little design going on. So there's a lot of things to do. Remember that this is an art project, so it's completely up to you how you want to use these instructions. But these are my two foldy parts, and now I'm going to attach them with my glue stick, or if you have hot glue, you can use hot glue. You can use your Elmer school glue that you just kind of squirt out. So, well, before I attach them to each other, I'm going to squish them together and then fold them in half, because that's going to create my semicircle, and the other part will create a semicircle, and then I'll get a full circle. So I'm going to hold these two parts together, and you see I'm starting to get my circle there. So I'm going to glue this right here so that I can have a permanent partial circle. Add my little glue. So you do want to work in an area where your table is covered, because you could get glue, crayon, all kinds of stuff on your table. But if you're working on top of paper or something like that, your cleanup will be a lot easier. I'm just going to hold this together for a little while. Hopefully that sticks. Okay, so I have half of my circle. I'm going to do the other half now. And this is kind of bothering me, so I'm just going to cut it off, but you don't need to. It could stay in there, but just kind of getting on my nerves. So I'm going to use my glue stick again and put glue on this side and then fold it in half so that I get my half circle. Oh, I have some glue sticking out there. I'm just going to wipe it on some scrap paper I have over here off to the side. I did not just wipe that on the table. Okay, so now I have my two halves. So now I'm going to put glue on this side and on this side and stick them together so that they become one circle. So this is kind of where your glue, your hot glue will come in handy. It might hold it a little bit better, but I think we'll be okay with the glue stick. Oh. So make sure you're holding your paper. You're not tossing it all over the place. And I'm just going to push these together. Like this side first, maybe. And then open it up. Put this side together. So since I did not measure, these are not perfectly aligned, but that's okay. I'm not, like I said, I'm not worried about perfection here. Just trying it out. So now I have my full circle, and you'll see I can still kind of stretch it, but I'll show you how we're going to get rid of that in a minute. Get that glue off of there. So I think in the caption I have one of the supplies is actually thin cardboard, and I didn't go over that at the beginning. So I have this thin cardboard margarine package that I'm going to use. I'm going to use my method of drawing circles here so that I can create a circle that keeps this together. So that's what I have here, just a little thin cardboard and then some hot glue, and that keeps my circle together instead of it coming apart like that. So, and I'm not super worried about this circle on the back being perfect. So I am going to draw a circle. I'll use the method that I showed you again just so we can go over it. But if you don't do this, it's okay because it doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it could probably be a square. As long as you have a little piece of paper that kind of helps you keep that accordion fold together in circle shaped, you'll be good. But right now I'm making a 1-inch circle. I put my dot in the middle and then I put another dot 1/2 inch away and then the other one another 1/2 inch away. So I have a 1-inch circle. I'm going to cut it out. And you see, by cutting off to the side, I still have all of this. So I can make so many more medals because I didn't cut it right in the middle and just kind of create trash on the whole thing. So I'm going to cut this out. And like I said, I'm not worried about perfection. Here we go. And this gives you a surface to stick your pen on when you're done, so that you can wear your medal. So here's my accordion folded circle. And I've got my glue gun. It's been plugged up since we started. So I'm going to put some glue on the outer package side so that the white side is facing up. It doesn't matter, but it's just kind of a preference so that it doesn't look so homemade. Okay, give it a little bit of professionalism. And this should stick here. If you're having a problem where it's kind of popping out, then you can go ahead and put the hot glue right on this paper and then stick your cardboard down. So if yours wasn't, mine was sticking, but I just wanted to show you that you can put your hot glue right on the paper and it works fine. So this is going to be the back of my pen. Okay, and I'm not going to stick my my actual pen on yet. I'm going to do that last because I want to add some little tabs to the bottom, these little things. So that thin strip that we cut earlier, I'm just going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut a little V at the bottom. And if you want to, you can draw where you want to cut on this, but I kind of just eyeball it. Then I have these 2 little pieces of paper that are trash. Remember to just kind of throw that away as you go. I have my little trash can right here as I'm working. It makes it a lot easier to clean up my mess. And then I'm just going to snip off the top and throw that away. And now I have 2 little tabs, and now I can glue them on here. I can use my hot glue gun, or I can use the glue stick. I think I'll just use a hot glue gun because it's kind of fun to use. So put a little hot glue on there. This is not necessary at all. Like I said, it will definitely work with your glue stick, but it's kind of fun to use a hot glue, and it's already there. So I'm just gonna stick that on there too. Alrighty, it's coming together. So now we have the base, and we can just add our last piece. I brushed my teeth today, and glue that right on the top. For this one, I'm going to put the hot glue on the folded part again. And I don't want to put so much that it's going to come out of the edges of this, so I tried to keep it right in the middle. Now I'm just going to stick that right on there and let it dry. And the hot glue does not take nearly as long to dry as your Elmer's glue would. So if you're using just a bottle of glue like this one here, you're going to need to give it some time to dry because it takes longer than the hot glue. But once the hot glue cools, then this will be as dry as it's going to get, and you'll be all set. So the last thing we want to do is attach our pen. And I am going to use this blue tape. Whatever tape you have should work fine. I would suggest something kind of heavy duty, like maybe even duct tape to keep it on there, because you just need a small piece. I just cut a little piece of this blue tape so that you can see it, but my clear tape would hold better because the blue tape is painter's tape. That's designed to come off. But I'm going to open this, so I'm making sure that I'm folding or taping this part down to the back. I don't want to tape this part down to the back because then I won't be able to wear it. But I'm just going to put my tape right on that side that doesn't open and tape it to the white circle that we placed on there. So now I have my pen on there, and like I said, this isn't the best tape to use because it's painter's tape. But if you have like duct tape or clear tape, that will work too, but this doesn't show up well on camera, so I use the painter's tape so you could see it. And then I'm gonna close this, and voila! I have my very own pen. So there are a lot of variations that you can do with this. Like I said, you can add another layer around here if you wanted to by using 2 different colors, and I'll demonstrate that really quickly so you can see. But you could also draw on these so that you could have a little extra design. Like you could even say you were first place at brushing your teeth today. You did that good of a job. But I will show you what I mean with the strips. So I have 2 pieces of paper here, and I'm going to cut those strips that I did to make the foldy part. I'm just gonna draw a line with measuring